and students, welcome to HETV News. My name is CC Tell.
And I am Mrinal Venkatesh. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today is Friday, September 20th, 2019. It is day F of the letter day cycle.
There are no student birthdays today. Happy birthday wishes over the weekend go out to Bella Rossman, Arya Buddha, Otto Dietrich, Kayla O'Donnell, and Luke O'Donnell.
Today's lunch entrees will be BBQ pulled pork on bun, cinnamon French toast, assorted cold sandwiches, garden salad entree with wheat roll, and yogurt combo fun pack.
Today's lunch sides will be potato smiles, fruit variety, and veggie variety.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to HETV Weather. My name is Beatrice Wells. Today's forecast calls for sunny skies throughout the day. The high today will be 79 degrees. Back to you, Cece and Renal.
Teachers, please take this opportunity to make sure you sent your attendance to the main office. Also, students, please make sure all notes have been sent to the office. Thank you.
Next week, Hillendale will be taking part in a nationwide activity called Starting with Hello. This activity is designed to bring all of us closer together and to help kids who struggle with feeling alone. To tell us more about this week-long event, here are Mr. Ardevard and Miss Haynes.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I can't believe it's Friday and we're already through, I think, our 4th week of school. It's certainly going quickly. As you just heard, next week we are going to be celebrating Start with Hello Week. Now, the purpose of Start with Hello Week is all about making friends and making sure that no one is kind of isolated or out on their own, because I think one of the best things about Hillendale is we're all here for each other to help one another feel good, be happy, and have great days at school. So the 3 key pieces of Start with Hello Week are: you see someone who's alone, you reach out and try to help them, and then you start with hello. Introduce yourself, say hello, and include them with whatever you may be doing. So it should be a great week. We're also at the point where we're kicking off our Alveus anti-bullying program, which is all about kindness, caring, and showing respect to one another. And that's something that we all need to work on together, and we all do a great job. So in order to kick this off, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Haynes, who's going to share a very special story with you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be reading the book Kindness is Cooler, Mrs. Ruler. And it's a great reminder about different things we can do to show kindness to each other. Kindness is cooler, Mrs. Ruler. It was cold, it was rainy, and Mrs. Ruler's class hadn't been outside all week. The students were getting jumpy and grumpy. Anaya and Tuana whispered during story time. David pulled Rockalita's ponytail, and Rockalita stole his hat. Then David grabbed Connor's hat and threw it into the hall. "That's enough! Too rough!" shouted Mrs. Ruler. The bell rang. It was time for recess. As the kids left, Mrs. Ruler kept Anaya, Tawana, Connor, Rockalita, and David behind. "Sit down. Don't frown," she said. "Now tell me, why do you think I've kept you in from recess?" "We were acting up," mumbled Connor. "That's right. You were being mean to one another and acted as if it's cool to be mean, but it's not. What is a cooler way to act?" Rockalita spoke up. "Kindness is cooler, Mrs. Ruler," she said. "Bravo! A slice of nice makes a mile of smile. You 5 need to practice being kind. During the next few days, I want you to perform 5 acts of kindness for your families. Then, in show and tell, you can share what you did with the rest of the class." David scowled. "What if I don't feel like being kind?" he asked. Mrs. Ruler smiled. "Good deeds fill needs. Count on me, you'll see," she said. The next day, Anaya and Tawana couldn't wait for show and tell. When it was their turn, they ran to the front of the class. "We did 10 acts of kindness last night," said Tawana. "Before dinner I made special placemats. I set the table," said Anaya. "I drew hearts on the napkins to show Mom we love her," said Tawana. "I grated the cheese for the macaroni," said Anaya. "And I helped make the salad," said Tawana. "After dinner we carried the dishes to the sink," said Anaya. "And I loaded the dishwasher," said Tawana. "While I took out the garbage," said Anaya. "Then I sponged off the table," said Tawana. "And I straightened up the chairs," finished Anaya. Mom told us how much she liked our homework. It put her in such a good mood that we want to do more nice things for her. "Bravo," said Mrs. Ruler. 10 kind acts will lead to more. Give me the chalk and I'll keep score." Then she wrote the twins' deeds on the blackboard. When she finished, she looked at David. "What about you? Did you practice too?" "No," said David. "I just couldn't get into it." "Oh my, please try. Kindness is cooler," said Mrs. Ruler. After school, Rockalita invited Connor over for a play date. She had a new dog and a big family, so there were lots of ways Rockalita and Connor could practice being kind. In show and tell the next day, they shared kindness with the class. "We took Puddles for a walk," said Rockalita, "and we threw him a ball." "I filled his water dish," said Connor, "and I gave him some puppy chow," said Rockalita. "Puppy chow! Wow!" said Mrs. Ruler. "Then we built a block tower with my little brother," said Rockalita, "and gave Abuelo and Abuelita their canes before they took a walk." "We also helped Rockalita's dad carry in groceries from the car," said Connor. "And I gave my baby sister her bottle," said Rockalita. "I count 8, and 8 is great," said Mrs. Ruler. "That's not all," said Connor. "When I got home, I took in the mail. I also carried the clean laundry upstairs." "Bravo," said Mrs. Ruler. "Altogether, you did 10. "And how much do the twins' 10 acts and your 10 make?" 20, shouted the class. "That's right, 20 is plenty. But how about you, David? What did you do?" "Too few for you," said David. The class laughed. "I told my brother I liked his haircut, and I let him use my comb. That's all I could think of." "Well, that's a good start. Keep doing your part," said Mrs. Ruler. Lauren raised her hand. "I'd like to try some acts of kindness when I get home today, too," she said. "Okay, hooray," said Mrs. Ruler. "Let's turn this into a class project. For the rest of the week, I'd like you to bring in some acts of kindness you've done at home. I'll write your acts on paper hearts and put them on the bulletin board. And I'll also add the ones from the blackboard. More acts of kindness. Put away clothes. Vacuumed living room rug. Shelved books. Let my big brother use my computer. Told Dad I liked his shirt. Got Sister a Band-Aid when she skinned her knee. And more kindness. Cleaned my room. Fed goldfish. Emptied waste baskets. Watered houseplants. Put groceries away. Drew pictures with my little sister. Told my sister that she has nice teeth." The class really came through. "We have so many. We'll need another wall," Mrs. Ruler exclaimed. "Let's count. 1, 2, 3. The kids counted until they reached 35. "Bravo," said their teacher. "Now try skip counting by fives." 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, shouted the class. "That's your right. You're bright. We should keep doing this project. Let's try some acts of kindness at school. I'll add those to the wall too. And don't forget, a slice of nice makes a mile of smile." As Mrs. Ruler kept cutting out more hearts, Connor and Pablo tried some school kindness too. They invited David to sit with them at lunch. But when they finished their sandwiches, David took one of Connor's cookies. "Hey, quit it," said Connor. He grabbed David's lunch bag and threw it over his head. "Stop," cried Pablo. "Don't you remember what Mrs. Ruler said? Good deeds fill needs." "David, don't grab. And Connor, you still have 4 cookies. Why don't you share them with David and me?" "Oops," said Connor. "You're right. For a moment, I forgot about being kind." Connor gave some cookies to his friends. "I agree. Here are 3. "Yum," said David. "I'm going to ask my babysitter to help me make cookies when I get home." "And then you can bring them to school," said Pablo, "and share them with the whole class. And Mrs. Ruler will congratulate me for being extra kind. But I still won't have done as many acts of kindness as everyone else. So think of other things to catch up," said Pablo. David didn't have to think for long. That afternoon when Caitlin was cleaning the gerbil's cage, the gerbils got loose. One even jumped to the window ledge. Mrs. Ruler hopped on a chair. "Eek! Squeak!" she cried. Everyone ran for cover, everyone but David. He chased the gerbils. He scooped them up one by one. Then he set them back where they belonged. "Hooray for David!" yelled the class. "Your act of kindness was the best," cried Mrs. Ruler. "Now go on home and do the rest." She jumped off the chair and added the acts of kindness from that week to the wall. Mrs. Ruler and the class counted up all of the hearts. By now the class had done 70 acts of kindness. "That's great, but wait, there's more in store. Let's keep going and spread the kindness beyond school. There are lots of kind acts you can do in the community." "But we're just little kids," said David. "How can we do stuff outside of our house and the school?" "I'll ask your parents to work with you on community kindness, and I'll help too," said Mrs. Ruler. "All it takes is one simple act. One act of kindness that will make the world a better place. If you act from your heart and do your part, we'll end up with 100 acts of kindness all together." The class was really excited. David was more excited than anyone. A few weeks later, the kids shared their acts of community kindness. Mrs. Ruler added more hearts to the wall. Again, the class counted 1, 2, 3, until they got to 99. "Oh no, uh-oh," said Mrs. Ruler, "we still need one more." Then she paused and thought for a moment. "I know, let's have a class party. We'll decorate and celebrate. 100 acts of kindness," shouted the class. "Okay, hooray!"
Thank you for watching HETV News. Have a great day, everybody, and a super weekend.
Woo, woo.